Listen up.
It's the number one voice of the tri-state. I'm number one. It's Cooking Up 215. So let the show begin.
Turn me up.
Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth.
And it's your girl Amber Grand.
And we got a special guest with us today. We got Top Dog Law in the building, Mr. James Helm himself.
Yo, what's good, bro?
Up,
I appreciate you having me, bro.
Listen, man, I appreciate you coming through.
Of course.
The last time we seen each other, I was trying to get Top to give me the bag. Somebody knocked me off my bike.
Can we talk about that real quick?
We can talk about it. I was in my bed, like, I'm talking like Top he hands on.
Yo, first off, I pulled up to your house, which you
crib.
know that was in the beginning days of Top Dog, because I'm not pulling up to people's houses anymore. Not the way Philly is. Like,
Yeah.
roll up by myself, no nothing, you know,
Solo
coming
dolo.
in, like, solo dolo. And you were down for the count. I mean, you had just gotten a motorcycle accident. You were, what'd you have, road rash? You break any bones?
It was like a muscle tear, so I couldn't walk. Remember, it was like wide open.
Yeah.
He was like, let me see it. I'm like, shit, like, Top, come on.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was bad.
That was real bad, bro. And you got done probably worse than I've seen anybody get done, which was the police officer that came to your motorcycle accident.
Didn't write a report.
He didn't write a report. So we're trying to get the other driver's insurance information. We got no information because the dumb officer didn't write a report.
Yeah, so if you remember seeing me get my ass hit by somebody on my bike, you know what I mean, call my phone, I need that info.
He said.
Yeah, we need that. we need him to go get us the bag real fast. But I could tell, like, that showed that you were really like about your bag. I'm like, he like, yeah, you gonna come through? I'm like, nah, I just literally got hit. Like, I pull up, send me the address. I'm coming through. I'm in the crib. I probably still had like pajamas and a robe on, like crutches. Couldn't come down the steps. My man pulled up on me, so I was like, yeah, Top. We've been cool ever since.
Bro, and look, I mean, that was the stage, right, where I was driving out of my car. I didn't even have an office. Like, I'm driving out of my car, going from one place to another place to another place to another place. It's like, when you talk about building something from scratch, that's just like what it was.
Look at where you at now.
I appreciate that, bro.
You on some.
One thing I did notice, I'm like, I saw some Gucci shades, I saw some Rolex watches. I'm like, yo, who is this, man?
Yeah, he was in my bedroom. Everybody would go up there. Yo, he couldn't get my ass downstairs, so we had to do what we had to do. But yeah, nah, man, even then, to me, I thought you were already, you know what I mean? You present yourself as you already getting it. So it seemed like, you just dedicated, which even then I feel like you still are.
I mean, I had my own firm and stuff, but like, you really gotta fake it till you make it, no matter what you're doing. So like, for real, that was at the point where I was just starting to come up. I didn't have any money. I had 2 people working for me. I had $187,000 I spent on the business, which was every penny I had. And I remember telling people, I'm like, if this doesn't work, I'll just declare bankruptcy or something. Right. Like, that's why, you gotta burn the ships to a point where it has to work or it has to work,
or
right?
And
like you force yourself to that point of desperation and you become resourceful.
Right.
Now, how long did that phase last? Like when you were hustling basically from your car, just?
Yeah. So and I ended up getting like a small office, so I don't mean to mislead. I wasn't like totally out the car. Yeah. But the phase in my business is the cases take a long time to settle. So that was really like the first year, maybe even year and a half. Like, I think if you got a different type of business, you probably can move past that stage a little bit quicker.
You get some more cash and faster.
The foundation has to be.
But what it does is it keeps you hungry, right? Because you're like, I look at my bank account and that shit's in the red, you know what I mean? So I gotta wake up today and go a little harder than I did yesterday. Okay, and so I had all this basically money in the inventory of the cases that I had, but I hadn't seen any of it yet.
Right. It's kind of like stock. You got all this shit on the market, but you can't cash in. You can't pull out anything yet.
Yeah, it's the same principle as stock too. It's like patience, right? It's like, I think a lot of people create their own business and they're, gung-ho, ready to tackle the world, ready to build this massive thing, and then they hit resistance.
Right.
And it's like, you're always gonna hit that resistance. And how much will do you have to push through that wall that you're inevitably gonna hit?
Right.
That's true.
So I want to get into the story. I'm sure everybody, you speak on your story pretty out loud. You got a colored background in a sense, but I always think that, coming from adversity it makes you a bigger monster. You know what I'm saying? So it's like some people may not understand why Top goes so hard. So you did come from addiction.
Yeah.
And then became a lawyer still.
Yeah. So what's crazy is actually I was on my way here, and I passed by 52nd and Market, and I had a time where I would meet a guy there consistently, like every 2 or 3 days. I mean, my thing was always
52nd and Market for you.
But I was always the guy that like had the plug. So I would basically go pick up a bunch of stuff, and then I always had my friends, out in media where I grew up, or later it was Penn State where I would then, sell the stuff to them and make the difference. And the problem I learned is that monkeys can't sell bananas, right? Like I was a monkey trying to
eating all the bananas.
Yeah, eating all the bananas. Yeah, and sure enough, what was like a fun thing at 16, 17, like it was an edgy thing for me. I grew up, I was the only child. I had a lot of pressure from my dad to be this successful guy, and so I was looking for ways to like escape that. And for a while it was just fun, then it was fun with problems, then it was just problems, right?
I mean, so we always kind of create this thing where we make growing up black and growing up white like these two total different things. And I always tell people, like, color is just fucking color. Like, you born how you born, but it's all the same shit. It's all the same problems, all the same dysfunctions. So it's like, even given however you were born, you still went out, ran into drugs, ended up selling drugs. But yet you were able to pull yourself back up and to become a lawyer. So the one thing I wanted to ask you was, like, what do you feel like is the main difference? Because a lot of times, us black people, sometimes we get fucked up. Some of us, we make ourselves successful. We got a lot of success stories. You know what I mean? You got your Jay-Z's and shit like that. Other people who may have used drugs and still came out and be successful. But what do you think is the difference between growing up how you grew up and maybe somebody else who ended up in selling drugs or doing drugs and still can't find a way to get on that right path? Like, what's the difference with you?
It's a great question. I think about it a lot. I know there's a term called recovery capital, and basically that term means when you're ready to change your life, what are the resources that you're able to use to do that, right?
Okay.
And so I was at a point where I had health insurance. My mom had a job. My mom helped people put on eyeglasses, and it's funny because
my mom does the same.
Oh, really?
Shit,
Yeah. It's called like an optometrist. Yeah. What's funny is my mom, like, I think she made $15-20 an hour, would tell other ladies like, "Oh my God, you look so cute." My mom's like the sweetest woman you'll ever meet, and yet
my mom's sweet, but she'll bust your ass.
But they got bought by Goldman Sachs, so now my mom's optometrist office is like putting people in and out. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's not good for her anymore. One of my proudest moments was I got to retire her. Got to retire my mom, which
congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
So it's every boy's dream.
Like that one felt good. That one felt real good. But to answer your question, right, there's this term called recovery capital. I had access through my mom's job to a rehab, and I always get DMs from people who are like, "Yo, what did you do? How do I have this problem with dope, I have this problem with perks, how do I change my life too?" Well, and the one thing I say is I tried from 17 to 25 to change my life. The moment I finally stopped was when I had the humility to ask for help, and that for me was going to rehab.
That's deep.
Yeah, and it's the truth. It's like that moment was public accountability to what was otherwise like an inside problem, right? That was the moment where I finally told people I have a problem, and saying those words out loud is scary. Because once you tell people in your immediate circle, your family, your friends, there's no going back to like the bar on Thanksgiving, be like, "Yo, I was just playing about that whole thing, I'm not really a drug addict."
To the ridicule and the judgment and shit like that.
100%. So what I tell people is like, you're trying to do it on your own, and I just know my experience was I had to ask for help. And once I did that, I started, reinventing myself. But here's the problem, right? This goes back to your question, is what if somebody's ready for that, but they don't got any insurance?
Yeah, they don't have the resources to get themselves to that point.
They don't have a rehab that they can go check themselves in. Rehabs are expensive. Right? And so that's the point of the story where, I could sit here and say, "Oh, it was all me," look at what I did, this and that. But the fact is, there's probably people all over Philadelphia who are ready to have that moment happen in their life, but they don't have the access to the resources that'll allow them to do it.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's probably something we would have to work on building. Is just because it's crazy out here, and I don't think people know how bad it is.
It's
like
an epidemic.
opioid
Crisis.
shit is crazy. Like
Crisis.
it affects so many people, and then like even like I heard you tell a story before, like whereas though I guess everybody goes through that thing when you're doing any drug, whereas though you never admit to being like, you know what I mean, dependent on this drug.
No way. You guys are tripping. I had a girlfriend who broke up with me. I was going off to Penn State, and I could have like tried to play sports or did other thing, but I was like, I want to go to Penn State, big school, big party school. I wanted to, go have fun, and it was a shit. And like she was staying in my hometown. But when we broke up, she was like, you're a pillhead. And this was when I was 18. Wow. And I remember being like she's just jealous. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's because at that point in my life, I hadn't had any consequences yet.
Right. I didn't see any downside to what you were doing. Yeah,
100%. And it really wasn't until later where these two lives that I had, right? This person, I always wanted to be like somebody who was ambitious and successful and wanted to make a lot of money and wanted to have a big impact on the world. And then I had this other thing going on, and I was able to control them enough to keep them separate, right? I was able to have this like side life where I,
do all the shit.
Did all the shit I wanted to do.
Shit, right?
Yeah, and what happens is the dark shit starts bleeding into the and I sensed those two worlds were about to collide, and I had gotten arrested a couple of times, but fortunately no felonies and nothing that like would have I got the most
fucked up your path pretty much.
Yeah, fucked up my path, and I have so much respect for guys and girls who they did a lot of time. They got felonies on their record, and they lost their kids. Their wife divorced them. Right. They lost everything, and they're still getting up, trying to change their lives, right? Because I had that easy path of like, if I can just get my shit together now, I can still be everything I want to be.
Yes.
And so that was motivating to me, was like, I can still correct the course.
I think a lot of times I hear you talk on it, and I think you try to somewhat you discredit yourself. You try to, because you don't want to claim too much, because there is that thing, there's always the stigma that it's period. Like we always want to make it seem like it should be harder for Caucasian men. Like, you know what I mean? You guys have it way easier. Like, nah, fuck that. If you came back and you sold some drugs, took some drugs, got locked up, and still managed to get out of law school, open your own firm, you the shit. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like every time I hear you say that, like, you kind of gotta like, it is what it is. Like, you know, your story is your story. Take it how you take it. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody shit is a little bit rougher than somebody else's. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a slave who had worse shit than somebody else. Like, you can't always have the worst story. And it's like, you can't beat yourself up because you didn't have it the worst. But at the same time, I feel like that's a lot to come back from. Like,
growth.
I feel like it's a story in that. That's why I fuck with you, sorry, because it's like, you're not out here pretending like you was just this straight, straight tied, always doing good, and now I'm out here in the hood, I'm playing lawyer, and I'm just doing like, nah, I really was out here, and now I'm out here on the different side, like, you know what I mean? I'm still getting busy, because that's what we come from. That we come from the streets where dudes do some dark shit. They get their money, they might have got booked, and then they come back, and then they flipping houses, and then they starting programs, like, you know what I mean? So we honor those dudes. So I would like to also give you that pass too. I feel like you deserve that. Like,
I appreciate it. I appreciate
that. That's major.
I appreciate that, bro. And I'll tell you what. If I go back to Delco, where I'm from, and if I go around my hometown and I look at a lot of the guys that I was kind of doing some of that stuff with or whatever, like the people that make it out are few and far between.
Yeah, it's that shit is hard.
Yeah,
it's just a strong person like to overcome that type of
that's
addiction.
What I'm saying.
Seriously,
Like,
so kudos to you for real.
That opioid shit is real, man. You could dive in a fucking hole and be stuck in there. But I want to get into this food, and we're gonna get a little bit more into the story. This your boy Smooth.
Amber Green.
We got Top Dog with us. Let's get into this food.
Hey.
It's our favorite part of the show.
That's your favorite?
Yes, sir. Chef, what you got cooking?
You already know.
Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth, and this is Cooking Up 215, and it's my favorite part of the show. It's time to get into that food. We got Chef Boy Reem in the building. What's up, Reem?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Listen, man, I appreciate you coming out. You got restaurants. Let us know the name of your restaurant real quick.
All right, so I got 2 locations. I got 720 Bistro, Philly Crave on 52nd in Baltimore. And then I got BQ Lounge, Shot Lounge, as soon as you cross over into the county on Baltimore Pike.
Okay.
Also, you can reach us at the Wine Garden on 49th in Baltimore.
49th in Baltimore. So you getting busy.
Hey, I'm getting busy.
And the food looks delicious, my brother. I'm talking about, it's like the universe has been answering all my questions, my prayers lately. I was like, man, I want some seafood Alfredo, and then woke up the day and got the text like, yo, he bringing seafood. Like, so I'm excited.
Yeah, this is a good joint. So right here, you got a seafood Alfredo. It's jerk over a better linguine. I got the New Zealand mussels. I got the colossal shrimp with my 7 spices. You'll see the spices coming out in little farmers markets here soon in the future.
Yeah, and these ain't even your regular mussels. I'm talking about these mussels is they big. He talking about colossal shrimp. These some colossal mussels. These ain't your, you know what I mean, the back of the bar joints.
Oh,
these
some
something
good
serious.
joints.
So once again, let them know where they can follow you at so they can hit you up, get some of this good food.
So definitely, you guys can follow us on phillycrave.com, www.phillycrave.com. You can follow us at Philly_Crave on Instagram. You can follow us at Philly Crave on TikTok. Again, you can get us at the Wine Garden on 49th in Baltimore. You can get us at 52nd in Baltimore at 720 West Bistro. You can get us over at BQ Shot Lounge. Again, we do catering, all scale events from 2 to 200, 300, you name it, we there.
Listen, my man is everywhere, so no excuses. If you want some good ass food, you better link up with him and go get you some. This your boy Smooth. It's Cooking Up 215. Chef Boy Reem. Let's get back to the show.
What's good, y'all? Theory Rand. We back with Cooking Up 215, and I got my co-host.
Your boy Smooth.
And we still here with Top Dog Law.
Hey.
So right now we about to dig into this food from Philly Crave, and shout out to Chef Boy Reem because he did his thing with this.
Sheesh.
Mad good. So we about to dig in, but I did want to ask you a question though, Top Dog Law. So what would you say is like the craziest case that you've ever had?
Oh my God. So I got one, but because we're eating, I'm gonna have to save that one for another time. I don't want to crush y'all appetites. No, for real.
If that's the top one, I gotta hear it.
Yeah, oh my God.
We just gotta risk it.
I don't have a weak stomach, so
Yo, you guys got this on video. They agreed to this.
can handle
with
it.
a weak stomach. Like she's not squirmish. I'm squirmish.
I wouldn't say squirmish, but I'll give you the story. So we do a lot of slip and fall cases at like Walgreens, Poppy stores, whatever. And usually it's, a spilled substance on the floor. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people will leave like the outside gate open. And that's been some really serious injuries. This time was somebody slipping over some poop in the floor. But here's the part of it though. Here's the part, here's the part. We sent our investigator out to the scene. Wasn't no dog poop. Wasn't no dog poop. No, yeah. Human feces in the Poppy store on the ground.
What?
Yeah.
Somebody was pissed off.
Yeah, we legitimately have that case right now. It's going to suit. Yeah.
What? Yo, you get the craziest case.
Let me give you a second one just for fun. I got a call from a guy who threatened to bomb Tyler Perry in Atlanta a couple weeks ago. This guy hit up my office, one of my receptionists picked up. He told me that he was very capable of trying his own legal case, but he just needed me to sit second. To sit second chair on his trial.
So you were gonna be nothing at him, running point like.
And then I got the article sent to me, like crazy lunatic, like claims to bomb Tyler Perry. I'm like, yo, tell him we'll call him back.
I was getting ready to ask, is that something you could stick up for?
What was his case for? So he had the case against Tyler Perry, like.
I didn't even look that deep into it, bro.
Like,
I just saw the headline. I was like,
Not touching that.
So do Instagram, like, since it's like, I would say, I don't know, maybe I always get you on Instagram because I'm on Instagram shit. When I turn on the radio, you always on there too.
Yeah.
And we got to talk about that because I need to know how the hell you got the spot to always, if you have a radio and you turn on Power 99, it don't say Power 99, it should say Top Dog Law.
Straight across.
At 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 a year. That shit is
I was
crazy.
like, who's that?
Fact, bro. You want to hear what's crazy about that? And I don't think I've ever told anybody this, so cooking up exclusive right
Here
here.
we go. I love an exclusive.
So I tried to buy that. I heard it was called RDS. I tried to buy it from Power 99 myself. And then basically they were giving me this crazy number for it. They weren't trying to sell it to me. And then they were like, well, you can have it, but it's like, 20 grand a month, 50 grand a month, whatever. I found this radio agent down in Florida who spends 22 million with the radio station across the whole country in different markets.
Right.
And so I wasn't sure though, like they take 15% of what you spend. So like I don't like spending a 15% tax. So I'm like, whatever. So I had him go, I said, yo, see how much this would be for Power 99. He got it at like a fourth or a fifth of what and then that moment I was like, yo, that's cool. I'll do everything with you, right? So it all comes down to like networking. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
That's a fact.
And the fact
We've been
is
talking about that. We've been talking about that lately.
the fact that he spends 22 million with the radio nationally means
He
the
get a
deal.
discount.
Yeah, he's buying the best bulk discount of anybody. So
you gotta give him a play.
yeah, I'll take a little credit though, because nobody was doing that. All the lawyers do the same thing. That's always my number one thing is like, you see the lawyers, it's like they got the buses and the billboards and the television commercials.
Right.
And so like I try to do like either it's
extra thing,
Instagram
yeah.
or the
smart.
thing on the
Swimming
radio.
between the cracks.
Yeah, something a little different,
So the Instagram thing, do it bring you a certain type of client? Like, do you mainly get the crazies half the time? Like, because it's like, you know what I mean? Instagram is full of crazy motherfuckers. So it's like, do you find the ones who always trying to get that crazy ass suit like this?
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, it's all just a numbers thing. So I used to have 2 cell phones, like running around, like pick this phone, hold on, yeah.
You got 2 phones.
Yeah. Now I have like a call center with 7 people in it. So
Wow.
we get 1,300 calls a month. So I'm like, I'm a step removed from, who's on the other line. So I'm more reading descriptions and making decisions based on descriptions than actually getting on initial calls with people. But I will say that I think that everybody 25, 34 is on social media. So yeah, there's definitely people, from the city that calling me up to some shit. Yeah. But we're quick to identify them these days, and there's a lot of people that do call because I'm the person they know, and it turns out like, their mom was just in a catastrophic accident and is in the IR, and they have no idea what to do,
Okay.
And so it's like, I'm all about the money and the funny skits and this and that, but it also feels really good to help the people that actually need your help. They're not in it just for the money. They're in it because they need answers.
truly in a situation.
Yeah, they're in a situation.
The only lawyer they know is Top Dog.
100%. And like, I want them to know, and I try to communicate this in my content, that like, I'm actually the best person for them to call in that scenario. And despite the rap videos and the skits and the this and it's like I actually do know my shit when it comes to how we're gonna do this investigation. And so I feel like it's always like a little bit of a delicate balance because you want to have fun with it, but you also want to show that you're an expert in this too.
But I think it shows, and I feel like in this era, like social media is a big thing, so people understand that. Like everybody's using it to their advantage to market and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't think that. See, that was a question I have though, because personally, I know us as the consumers, we're not judging like, oh, he's out there making skits. He can't be a serious lawyer.
Not at all.
Like, hell no, I want him because we're going to bid a little bit between this process. I need to be real with me, you know what I mean? Don't bullshit me, talk to me in my language. I think that's probably something that people love about you because they feel like they can speak their language to you. You know what I mean? You're not about to come in and talk to some law jargon.
Versatile,
some shit I can't understand and put me on some shit I don't know about. But do you get criticized by the other lawyers? Like, do they give you shit because you so much on Instagram?
Bro, are you serious? Yeah, absolutely.
They
man.
hate,
I get criticized by everybody. Like that's that just generally like once you become a public figure, have a platform, like especially doing some of the stuff I do, like people from every side are critical, and I went from somebody who was a little insecure with thin skin to like having to get used to it real fucking quick, and that's the reality. And lawyers, I think, probably give the most criticism. I remember walking into a conference, right, and even the name Top Dog, like they're used to calling their law firm like
The real
4
name.
last names
Yeah.
together. And my whole thing was like, okay, you had a great experience with your lawyer. Well, who's your lawyer? Johnson and Brothen and
Schmitzenberg and Ferguson.
I'm like, yo, let's create a brand here.
I love
but
that.
I've been in situations where I'll go in and I'll be at a lawyer conference and I'll check in and I'll be like Top Dog, and then the lawyer next to me, the old 65-year-old guy in his suit's like Top Dog, you know, like, and they still do that, and so you know,
I think it's dope.
I'm always just like, you know, you're over there.
Right.
Been working for 30 years or doing like a couple $100,000. I'm like, bro, I do, you know, more money in a month than you do in a year, bro. So keep laughing, bro. Keep laughing.
And that's how it go. I think we in this day and age we should change. But speaking of criticism, I need your professional opinion on this food real fast. Cause this shit is busting. Is it busting?
Bussin'.
This shit is busting. You're a top dog. You said
Let me give it a score.
There we go.
I'm gonna say, and I'm not just saying this because this is love, like a 9.1 out of 10. It's pretty good.
This shit's serious.
It's serious.
really
See, I'm gonna tell y'all, right? He told us off camera, and he made me almost get a little, you know, standoffish. He was like, "Yeah, the sauce on top and the seasoning on top. Make sure you mix it around." But you know, black people, we like extra seasoning. Fuck though, I'm not mixing it around. I'm eating that shit right off the top.
I was thinking the same thing.
Salty. I'm not mixing it. Not mixing that Old Bay in there. What are you talking about? But no lie, even when you get to the middle, that shit is creamy.
It's so good.
It's tasty all the way through. Like, look at that shit. That shit not dry at all. So
I've never had a mussel this good.
man,
Like,
Chef
I don't
Ray.
even do mussels, but now I do.
Yeah,
Like,
that shit
these
hit
are the best mussels I've ever had
I'm
too.
at-
Y'all like your food pretty spicy though. This is like, he said this was medium spice.
That's spicy.
I'm like, it's just, I'm like, it's
family reunion. Like,
I'm like, yo, it's just about at that threshold where if it gets any higher,
listen,
I might need to go outside for a water break real quick.
fucking that water up too.
Oh man,
Funny. Sorry about the
It
heat.
definitely like a little spicy.
it's definitely a little spicy. I'm
But
cool
to
though.
me, that's not spicy at all.
Yeah.
Don't get no African food. You had some African food?
I don't think so, man.
Oh man.
Now I know to stay away.
Yeah, stay away from that shit, cause that shit'll do you dirty. That shit'll put you down for a week. Real rap. They give you this sauce, it comes in like this little tiny ass cup, and I'm talking about you just dip your fork in that shit. And it'll fuck you up. You'll be in the hospital.
Now I know
You
what
be
to stay
trying
away
to do
from.
African.
Yeah.
You be trying to get a case. Listen, can you get a case for shit like that?
No. You know what's funny?
Some shit that's too spicy.
You know what people always give me is the food cases. Like they're like, oh, I went to McDonald's and my thing was raw and blah blah blah. I'm like, what are you eating at McDonald's? Like, what the fuck do you think's gonna happen, bro? You know, like, and like, what do you think your injuries are from like having a little like, yeah, it's a little gross, I guess, but you know, we never take food cases.
And you already ate the sandwich. How can you let me see the sandwich.
Yeah. People always think they're injury cases though. Like I get probably like 50 a week where people bit into some thing and
Didn't get hurt but call it an injury case.
yeah, I think just because like they're grossed out, they think that they should have
Get
a
some
case.
money now.
Yeah, you should get some money now. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, give me the bag.
maybe hire a little chef or something that's gonna do right by them.
Listen, I wanted to play this game with you, right? Because I feel like you deserve a black pass. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
I
yeah.
feel like we should just bring you on over. You know what I'm saying? MJ, he's gone now. Like we need a new white dude. So.
Dude.
But so I wanted to ask you a few questions.
All right, let's get
This
it.
to determine your black pass status.
Oh wow.
All right, question 1. What time was Usher cruising the streets?
I have no idea. Yo, I feel like this game's about to expose me, bro. I feel like this game
you had this shit in the bag.
Tiz crucified me when he said the movie Friday, and I was like, what? What's Friday? I literally have never seen
never
it.
seen Friday?
Yo, there are elements. You said this whole nice black and white thing earlier,
Yeah.
and there are elements of culture, though, where I'm like,
There's certain shit
yeah,
that's
I just, yeah.
See, I feel like some shit be so big to us in our community. I feel like there's no way nobody in the world hasn't heard of fucking Friday. Like everybody know Craig
Yeah.
and Day Day. Like you don't know Day Day? Smokey?
I still to this day, never seen it, right? I've never seen it.
I'm gonna have to pause this shit, watch Friday, and start this shit all over.
Yo, this might have to be part of my initiation.
Yeah, we might run him through the ringer real quick. Like, we gotta give you a movie pack and a food pack, give you some spice to go, get your tolerance up.
Come back in a week or two.
Yeah, and then we're gonna do this shit all over again. You can wear your Dickie set that you wear with Taz. Like,
I will say, I'm getting a lot of compliments on the Dickie set.
I'm like, yo, Tom about to go to the courtroom crazy, like, with the Dickie suit and the tubs. I said, yo.
Yeah, we bought that down at 69th Street. The guy who sold it to me at the counter was kind of like,
this for you?
yeah.
This not for him. This is yours. Nah, it's mine. Like, get my Dickie suit. Nah, that's hilarious. All right. So that means that most likely you're not listening to underground Philly rappers. I can ask you this one: your top 3 Philly IG comedians.
So I'm gonna be a little biased here.
I'm sure
Tiz
you
215,
are.
that's my guy right there. Funny, I met him and started doing skits with him. It's crazy. It's been like 3 years now, and he's become one of my closest friends. And I think people can tell that shit, right? Like when you're watching somebody,
It's natural.
it's natural.
Right.
The chemistry's natural. I would say. Also, it's Funny Bull Quill. Talk about one of the funniest guys that's just going crazy right now. He actually sold out Penn State. I went to Penn State, so he texted me as a stand-up comedian. He went and like had a crowd going nuts. Sold out the Bryce Jordan Center at Penn State. So that's dope.
I think I seen the footage on that too. Yeah, I seen it. Like, crazy part is Quill actually supposed to come next week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's funny.
Yeah, we went to, I hung out with them last week. We went to D'Alessandro's. You know what's funny? It's been a couple years since I had like a classic Philly cheesesteak.
Say that again.
D'Alessandro's.
Oh, man. D'Alessandro's. God damn it, Tom, I quit. He said that. Diddle who?
D'Alessandro's.
Dilo Julio?
I thought he was talking about
can't
the
with you
Spanish
guys.
dancer. I thought
can't
he was
with
some
y'all.
salsa shit or something.
I can't
He
with y'all.
said a cheesesteak. I know you ain't talking about D'Alessandro's. I know. Listen, I'm going to get him right, y'all, because I fuck with Top. We're going to get you right.
Oh man, I need more help than you thought, bro.
Get you a dictionary and all that. You know what I'm saying? All right. Top ramen is referred to as. Do you know?
So ask the question one more time. I'm not
Top ramen. Y'all, you know what top ramen is?
No, I don't know what that right now. I know ramen noodles.
Okay.
Is that what we're talking about?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's part.
What's the other
What
name
do we
for
call
it?
it?
I don't know.
Oodles and
Oodles and
noodles.
noodles.
Oh my God. I promise y'all, I'm gonna get them
It's all
right.
good.
Just take all these, we're gonna add it on, man. We're just gonna add it on.
Next segment, y'all.
Yeah. We're just gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna ask no more, but not gonna do it. Just not gonna
All right,
do
well,
it.
let me ask one real fast then. All right. Are you from Philadelphia?
So from media, so Delco.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's 3 things you would say Philly women can't live without?
Just eat this food.
Let me take a second, digest this question while I digest
It could be
this.
a million things on the list, and if you just want to say 3 or 2.
3 things that Philly women can't live without.
Yeah.
You be on Instagram.
You ain't gonna be wrong.
You gotta see, yeah.
Ain't no wrong answers.
No.
I would say Rocky playing in their car.
Okay.
That's right. The first one. The second one is getting their nails or their lashes done.
That's a fact.
And the third one is some guy that's causing them problems.
It's a fact, though.
Yo,
It'd be
I
like
knew
that.
one question, bro. I knew one
Sound like
question.
he got one question right.
Yeah, we give you that one time. Good job, man. Good job. So, I know you spoke. We know you in and out of town. You got people that's running your business for you. You doing some things to kind of give back.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those things.
Yeah, that's probably the thing that I feel the best about. Is last year we raised $59,000 for As I Plant the Seed. Shout out Ryan Harris, Hunting Park Community Center. I've spent enough time up there where Ryan blows me away for a couple of reasons. First, I'm like, so many people are optimizing for money in their lives, right? how do I create this success for me and my family? How do I build this empire? How do I create this business? How do I do this? And it's like, to see him just be like, yeah, I don't really care about that. What I care about is impact. And know that like he means it and he's gonna go after it as hard as one of us might be going after a business or going after. It's like, yo, that's a different scoreboard, right? That he's measuring. And once I realized that, I'm like, this is the guy I want to get behind.
Yeah, it makes sense because impact is really all that counts when it comes to communities.
And we need a lot of it.
Because a lot of people always talk about raising money and doing these things and raising awareness, but then shit doesn't change and nothing happens.
Yeah.
So impact really truly measures what are you changing physically. You know what I mean? What's really happening.
And the thing that you said that I think is part of the reason why I'm spending most of my time in Philly these days and becoming more hands-on is that day last year when we got presents for 60 families and then we raised $59,000. That was the best thing I felt all year. Like that was the day I went home, my head on that pillow, like
sleeping good.
like confident about my life and what I'm doing and it being worth it. And you know, and so when I thought about like, yo, what do I want more of? It was like, how do I make that so that's not one day a year?
Yeah.
But that feeling around the clock.
That makes you feel more purpose. Like
100%.
doing stuff like that. Yeah. Making people smile, giving your good energy to people. Yeah.
Exactly. And there's a part too that's when you hit a certain level of financial success or place in your business where you're like, this is what I always wanted.
Right.
What you do is you get there and then you're like, this ain't all that. Like I still feel the same, you know?
Yeah.
That's the part I'm scared of.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I don't think, like me saying that, like if somebody's watching, they're not gonna hear me say it and then change anything. Like you gotta get through that yourself. And get to that point yourself where you're like, I got this thing that I desperately wanted and not a whole lot's changed.
Yeah, you spoke about that before. Like when people always talking about like money isn't everything.
Yeah.
You talking to motherfuckers that ain't had money.
You gotta get rich first.
Yeah, I gotta experience that feeling myself. I gotta get up there and realize like money isn't everything. You know what I mean? You just saying it ain't. You still can pay all your bills.
Yeah.
I need to see for myself.
And for the record, like I think everybody should get rich first. Like being well off enough to not have like daily struggle.
Right.
I mean that solves about 70-80% of the problems right there. But the issue is like, okay, once you surpass that, the diminishing return of making more money doesn't make you feel that much better, right? And so it's like, where do I get fulfillment?
Yeah.
And for me, like doing the stuff in the community, it helps the people in the community, and that's great. But don't get it twisted. This is to make me feel good about my life having meaning and fulfillment. And if it benefits a heck of a lot of other people, then even better.
Yeah.
Right.
But like, even if you're looking at it through that like selfish, how do I want to feel lens, it's still the right thing to do.
Exactly. You can't be mad at somebody being selfish and that thing leads to other people getting help.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think about giving away 99% of your money when you die? Would you ever do that, or would you want to pass it down to your
I would have
kids
to
and your
pass it to the kids and stuff like that?
Yeah. You think there's an element though of like, if I grew up like a certain way, do you think I would be as driven as I am to succeed? Like, have you ever met somebody who grew up with like a trust fund or like a
like people who grew up around money?
They all like, for the most part, I'm making generalizations here, but like, a lot of them aren't disciplined, aren't motivated.
Appreciated the same.
You know what I mean? Like, do you think
it was already given?
Yeah. Do you think
you got this drive about you, whereas though it wasn't just sitting on a plate for you?
No, and by no means, and I'm gonna cushion it. I know what you said earlier, right? But I'm gonna say it though because it's important. Like, by no means, like I had two parents that were working.
Right.
Like I had food on the table. I didn't grow up rich, but I think that growing up where I grew up made me hungry.
Right.
And I don't want my kids to grow up with spoons in their mouth. So I think I'd rather
give away your money so that they'll want to get on they shit and get out there and go get it.
Yeah.
But I think it's all about the way you raise them. Like my kids are spoiled. They go to private school and I still get out here and I got to hustle to get it because I'm definitely not on your status.
Yeah.
But I do fucking everything I can. They still get everything they can, but I teach them on a daily basis. Like, this shit ain't easy. You gotta get out here and go get it. You want it? They want something from the corner store. You gotta go get your own paper. I'm not giving it to you. I done bought your PlayStation 5. You sleep good. The bills is paid, but I'm still denying them certain things. So whereas though they learn like you can't get handed everything. You know what I mean? This shit is not sweet out here. Nobody's giving away anything. So I feel like you can at the same time grow up wealthy or well off, but still be taught hunger. You know what I mean?
What you think, Amber?
I think it's like me growing up. I came from not like super poverty, but I came from some poverty. So I feel like I would pass it down to my family. I would hope that they would do the right things. I would try to teach them to do the right things. You can't always force it, but I feel like you can break generational curses with that. You know, your grand and great grands can eat from that too if it's done the right way. So there's different ways to look at it.
That 99% shit can fail. They just grow up broke and stay broke. It's all about the lessons. It's all in the lessons.
Or they can take it and really do something well with it and use their knowledge they were taught.
It's all about the lessons.
It depends. So
I feel like today was a ball, bro.
Dude,
I'm so fucking
yo, I appreciate you having me on, bro.
Seriously,
yeah. Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Definitely nice to meet you too.
Real quick, run down where they can reach you, contact you if they need to help get that bag or something like that.
Yeah. You know, we're Top Dog Law on all platforms. So topdoglaw.com, Top Dog Law Instagram, send a DM, whatever the easiest way of reaching out is. People don't realize we respond to the DMs in every case inquiry. So one of the things it's so easy for people is like, yo, you got a legal question, send a DM. We'll literally get back to you within 10-15 minutes. So I appreciate you, bro.
Right, my man Top Dog, he available. He'll pull up to your crib. You know what I mean? At least
give me
But this your boy Smooth.
Yeah.
That's the girl Amber Grand.
We got Top Dog Law in the building.
Hey, appreciate you, everybody.
Listen, we out of here, baby. Let's go.